Now, the last race in this book are the Ziph. And the Ziph are essentially parasites. They are an ancient race, a race that existed before time was ever recorded. So you're thinking a race older than the aboleths, a race that's been living beneath the earth and the oceans for millennia, for maybe millions of years, with a very long tradition and past. But over time, through conflict, their race has changed over time, and this parasite has moved from one race to another, infecting different races. And the race they are infecting now are snails. So these are anthropomorphic snails, and the base snail themselves aren't overly smart, but because they have this parasite in them, it lets them be fully sentient, sapient. The Ziph, +2 intelligence, +2 wisdom, -2 strength. They're snails, not really all that strong. Medium size, slow speed, because they are snails. Inborn knowledge. At first level, a Ziph gains an additional skill rank when which they must apply to a knowledge skill. This skill is always considered a class skill for the Ziph. Odd anatomy. Cannot equip items to feat slots, and it has no feat. They can wear one additional belt slot item. Protective shell. They can pull themselves into their shell and become very good at defense. And Suckerfoot. A Ziph gains a +4 racial bonus on climb skill checks. In addition, a +4 bonus on combat maneuver defense versus being bull rushed because they have this big, broad, snail-like foot, which allows them to kind of stick themselves in place. And of course, there's a little bit about height, weights, ages, things like that. An entire chart which gives you a nice breakdown of stats, all it. So you can look at a glance if you're shopping for a particular race. Next we have prestige classes. Now I'm trying to cover these a little faster. The Abolishers, a Ziph race which is all about fighting aberrations. They live and have been slaved and at war with aberrations in the past, mind flayers, aboleths, and things like that. So that is where it comes out of. And they're good at defending themselves and being at war with aberrations. The Archivitas, which is the class of relics, the stone tiki guys, who are all about finding the crystals that give them life. These crystals, they're put into a body, and these crystals can be taken from a dead relic and put into a new relic body and giving that body life. And these are the people, priest-like, who seek out these stones, these life crystals, and let them create more of their own race. Which, kind of a very much keepers of the race. They're archivers of their own species. I thought that was kind of cool. The Battle Twin, which is a race for the Tadol, the two-headed elf species, which takes advantage of their traits of having the ability to see and the ability to really coordinate two different personalities in one. One interesting thing, this would be only for very advanced players, just imagine two people playing this one character with two completely different heads. Not something for everyone, not something I think you want to do for a long-term campaign, but for a short adventure or even a one-shot, I think that would be cool. The Death Seeker, which is the Cabal, the tiny race with big hands, which is all about roll. The Death Seekers prefer to be in the front of battle. They use melee prowess and the tiny size to cut down as many opponents as they can. They often choose the largest and most dangerous foe to attack first. Death Seekers are often barbarians, fighters, or rangers. Just a martially inclined tiny creature. That makes me smile. The Demolisher, which is a boggle race all about building bombs and blowing things up. Being destructive with your mechanical skill. Can't love that. The Entrepreneur, which is the Numistian prestige class, all about being good at business and taking advantage of your race's abilities with coins and such. the Golden Muse, playing up the Muse's inspiration abilities and really becoming a very useful support character in a group. Divine class, you don't lose any levels in Divine Spellcasting, which is nice. The Grim Reaper, which is a prestige class for the Obutu, the skeletal race, which is about, again, divine class, about being very good at becoming a carrier of your disease and converting the undead you encounter into members of your own species and just fighting them. I think one of my cats is trying to get into my cabinets again. She does that. The Light Seeker, which is an Entobian small insect race prestige class, which is all about being good at runes and not ruins like in carving, ruins as in exploring. Really uncanny dodge, blind sight, dark vision, precocious speed. You get really good at surviving in a very Indiana Jones kind of an environment. The Pharaoh, which is an Animus prestige class, playing up your race's connection to that Egyptian theme I mentioned. Again, divine class, spellcasting class. You don't lose any levels, which is good. The Revenant of Spring, which is an Oakling class, about very much becoming a great warrior, and it allows you to take advantage of your race's roots and becoming more resistant, be getting better at hunting and at defense of the natural environment. Very good for barbarians, ranger, fighter kind of thing. They have the Savage, which is the Marog prestige class, which really makes you good at playing up the whole I am a primitive. You have improvised weapons proficiencies. If you make weapons with your bare hands out of stone and bone and things, you can use them very effectively. You're very much not going to be using manufactured items at all if you take this prestige class. The Slime Lord, the Squalls, all about being better at being slimes. And again, divine spellcasting. There's a class feature in here called the Ooze Whisperer, which made me smile, man. You can summon oozes, you get acid resistance, you can throw little globs of slime at people. You get to be somewhat amorphous in your abilities. You can summon oozes, different, more powerful versions as you go up, and your slime shot, of course, gets more powerful as you go. And at 10th level, you become immune to flanking, paralysis, and polymorph because you're pretty much really all about the ooze nature. The Warrior Philosopher, which is a Zax, that alien race that's very chaos and random based, very much getting into being a warrior philosopher in the Greek concept. Very well infused in this race. The Zubit, which is a peasant hero based on the Magoggle, the frog toad race. And this is very much playing up the whole concept of being an inspiration to your companions, about being the classic peasant hero that you may be coming from humble backgrounds, leather armor, a wooden sword, or a great club and a shield. You are a hero at heart, and you can give your companions a bonus to their morale because you're there with them. You're fighting the good fight. You are maybe a rogue by class, but you are a champion at heart, that you will take the fight to the faces of evil no matter what. Next is going to be feats.